And that brings you to this moment, the one you almost scrolled past. Only 3 minutes remain, or so it feels, but listen closely, because this is not about time slipping away. It is about something stepping in. You think you are racing against a clock, but what if this moment is actually an interruption, a divine pause placed right in your path? Because there are things you never saw. There are conversations that never reached you, doors that quietly stayed closed, and paths you were redirected from without explanation. You called it delay, confusion, even rejection, but what if something was standing between you and what could have harmed you? There has been a shield around you, even on the days you felt most exposed. When you thought you were losing, something was actually preserving you. When you felt forgotten, something was quietly guarding your future. And now, you are standing at the edge of realizing that not everything that missed you was meant to reach you. So why now? Why does this moment feel different, almost charged with something you cannot fully explain? Because what has been held back is beginning to shift, and what was once blocked is being repositioned. There is movement where there was stillness, clarity where there was confusion, and protection where you feared exposure. But here is the question you cannot ignore. What exactly has been kept from you, and what is now being allowed to reach you? If you understood the full picture, would you still call it delay, or would you call it protection? Stay with this feeling, because what you are about to realize will change how you see everything that came before, and everything that is about to unfold. Because this is not the end of something, it is the unveiling of what has been happening behind the scenes. And as you lean in, you will begin to see the difference between what was denied and what was divinely redirected, which is exactly where this message is about to take you. Listen to what comes next. And now as you remain here, something within you begins to quiet down. This is not by accident, not by coincidence, and not because you happen to click at the right time. There is a deeper invitation unfolding, one that your spirit recognized before your mind could question it. So just for a moment, let everything slow down. Breathe in, and release the tension you have been carrying. You do not need to rush through this message, and you do not need to prove anything here. This space is for you, and you are allowed to receive. Because somewhere deep inside, you already know this is for you. It feels familiar, almost like something you have been waiting to hear. Even if you cannot explain it, there is a quiet recognition rising within you, a sense that this moment is personal. That is because you are not here randomly. You were led here, guided here, even if you almost ignored the nudge. And now that you are here, something important is being placed before you. But here is what you need to understand: nothing begins to change until you stop resisting and start receiving. You have spent so long trying to figure everything out, trying to control outcomes, trying to protect yourself from disappointment. And in doing that, you may have unknowingly closed yourself off from the very peace you have been praying for. So what happens if you loosen your grip just a little? What shifts if you stop bracing for what could go wrong and instead allow yourself to receive what is being given to you? Right here, right now, you are being invited into stillness, not as an escape, but as a doorway. A doorway where clarity replaces confusion, and where peace begins to speak louder than fear. And the moment you allow yourself to be still, you will begin to notice something shifting inside you. The noise starts to fade, the pressure begins to lift, and a quiet assurance starts to take its place. You are not forgotten, you are not behind, and you are not too late. This message is meeting you exactly where you are, not where you think you should be. And as you stay with it, something deeper will begin to unfold within you. Because this is only the beginning, and what is about to be revealed will show you why everything had to pause before it could move forward. So do not rush away from this feeling, because what comes next will help you understand the protection you could not see and the shift you are now stepping into. Stay here because the next part will make everything clear to you. And as you stay here, something deeper begins to surface. Not noise, not distraction, but the quiet truth you have been carrying for far too long. You have been tired, not just physically, but emotionally drained in ways that are difficult to explain. It is the kind of exhaustion that sleep does not fix, the kind that lingers even when you try to rest. You have been showing up for others while quietly falling apart inside. Smiling when you feel heavy, answering questions with, "I'm fine," when you know you are not. Carrying responsibilities, expectations, and pressures that no one fully understands. And the hardest part is that most of your battles have been silent. No audience, no recognition, no one truly seeing how much effort it takes just to keep going. You have been fighting thoughts that question your worth, moments that make you doubt your direction, and delays that leave you wondering if anything is actually moving forward. There were times you expected something to work out, something you prayed for, hoped for, even believed was right, and yet it did not happen. Doors stayed closed, responses never came, and opportunities slipped away without explanation. That kind of disappointment does not just pass quickly. It settles deep, creating questions you do not always say out loud. Questions like, "What am I doing wrong?" or "Why does this keep happening to me?" And over time, you learned how to carry it quietly. You adjusted, adapted, and kept moving, even when it felt like you were carrying more than you should. Because the truth is, you have been carrying more than you were ever meant to carry. Not just your own worries, but the weight of expectations, the pressure to hold everything together, and the fear of what might happen if you let go. You told yourself to be strong, to push through, to not break, but strength without support slowly becomes strain. And strain, when ignored, turns into exhaustion that reaches every part of your life. This is why some days feel heavier than they should. Why small things affect you more than they used to. Why you sometimes feel overwhelmed without a clear reason. It is not because you are weak. It is because you have been strong for too long without the release you needed. And yet, even in all of this, you kept going. You kept believing, even if it was just a small part of you holding on. That matters more than you realize. But here is the question that begins to shift everything. What if you were never meant to carry all of this alone? What if the weight you have been holding onto was not yours to hold in the first place? What if the exhaustion you feel is not a sign of failure, but a signal that something needs to shift? Because if that is true, then everything you thought you had to handle by yourself begins to change. And that is where this moment becomes important, because what you are about to understand next will show you why the weight felt so heavy and what has been happening behind it all along. So do not rush past this recognition, because naming your pain is not weakness, it is clarity. It allows you to finally see what has been hidden beneath the surface. You were never meant to pretend you are unaffected. You were never asked to carry everything without help. And you were never designed to fight unseen battles without protection or support. The fact that you have made it this far says something powerful about you, but it also reveals how much you have been enduring silently. And now that it is being brought into the light, something is about to change in the way you carry your life. Because what comes next will begin to show you that you. And now as you remain here, something within you begins to quiet down. This is not by accident, not by coincidence, and not because you happen to click at the right time. There is a deeper invitation unfolding, one that your spirit recognized before your mind could question it. So just for a moment, let everything slow down. Breathe in, and release the tension you have been carrying. You do not need to rush through this message, and you do not need to prove anything here. This space is for you, and you are allowed to receive. Because somewhere deep inside, you already know this is for you. It feels familiar, almost like something you have been waiting to hear. Even if you cannot explain it, there is a quiet recognition rising within you, a sense that this moment is personal. That is because you are not here randomly. You were led here, guided here, even if you almost ignored the nudge. And now that you are here, something important is being placed before you. But here is what you need to understand: nothing begins to change until you stop resisting and start receiving. You have spent so long trying to figure everything out, trying to control outcomes, trying to protect yourself from disappointment. And in doing that, you may have unknowingly closed yourself off from the very peace you have been praying for. So what happens if you loosen your grip just a little? What shifts if you stop bracing for what could go wrong and instead allow yourself to receive what is being given to you? Right here, right now, you are being invited into stillness, not as an escape, but as a doorway. A doorway where clarity replaces confusion, and where peace begins to speak louder than fear. And the moment you allow yourself to be still, you will begin to notice something shifting inside you. The noise starts to fade, the pressure begins to lift, and a quiet assurance starts to take its place. You are not forgotten, you are not behind, and you are not too late. This message is meeting you exactly where you are, not where you think you should be. And as you stay with it, something deeper will begin to unfold within you. Because this is only the beginning, and what is about to be revealed will show you why everything had to pause before it could move forward. So do not rush away from this feeling, because what comes next will help you understand the protection you could not see and the shift you are now stepping into. Stay here because the next part will make everything clear to you. And as you stay here, something deeper begins to surface. Not noise, not distraction, but the quiet truth you have been carrying for far too long. You have been tired, not just physically, but emotionally drained in ways that are difficult to explain. It is the kind of exhaustion that sleep does not fix, the kind that lingers even when you try to rest. You have been showing up for others while quietly falling apart inside. Smiling when you feel heavy, answering questions with, "I'm fine," when you know you are not. Carrying responsibilities, expectations, and pressures that no one fully understands. And the hardest part is that most of your battles have been silent. No audience, no recognition, no one truly seeing how much effort it takes just to keep going. You have been fighting thoughts that question your worth, moments that make you doubt your direction, and delays that leave you wondering if anything is actually moving forward. There were times you expected something to work out, something you prayed for, hoped for, even believed was right, and yet it did not happen. Doors stayed closed, responses never came, and opportunities slipped away without explanation. That kind of disappointment does not just pass quickly. It settles deep, creating questions you do not always say out loud. Questions like, "What am I doing wrong?" or "Why does this keep happening to me?" And over time, you learned how to carry it quietly. You adjusted, adapted, and kept moving, even when it felt like you were carrying more than you should. Because the truth is, you have been carrying more than you were ever meant to carry. Not just your own worries, but the weight of expectations, the pressure to hold everything together, and the fear of what might happen if you let go. You told yourself to be strong, to push through, to not break, but strength without support slowly becomes strain. And strain, when ignored, turns into exhaustion that reaches every part of your life. This is why some days feel heavier than they should. Why small things affect you more than they used to. Why you sometimes feel overwhelmed without a clear reason. It is not because you are weak. It is because you have been strong for too long without the release you needed. And yet, even in all of this, you kept going. You kept believing, even if it was just a small part of you holding on. That matters more than you realize. But here is the question that begins to shift everything. What if you were never meant to carry all of this alone? What if the weight you have been holding onto was not yours to hold in the first place? What if the exhaustion you feel is not a sign of failure, but a signal that something needs to shift? Because if that is true, then everything you thought you had to handle by yourself begins to change. And that is where this moment becomes important, because what you are about to understand next will show you why the weight felt so heavy and what has been happening behind it all along. So do not rush past this recognition, because naming your pain is not weakness, it is clarity. It allows you to finally see what has been hidden beneath the surface. You were never meant to pretend you are unaffected. You were never asked to carry everything without help. And you were never designed to fight unseen battles without protection or support. The fact that you have made it this far says something powerful about you, but it also reveals how much you have been enduring silently. And now that it is being brought into the light, something is about to change in the way you carry your life. Because what comes next will begin to show you that you. And as this truth settles within you, something else begins to make sense. The weight you have been carrying was not random, and the resistance you have been feeling was not imagined. There have been forces, patterns, and internal struggles working against your progress, slowing your steps and clouding your clarity. Sometimes it showed up as fear, subtle but persistent, whispering that you were not ready or not enough. Other times it appeared as doubt, making you question every decision and second-guess every move. And there were moments when nothing made sense at all, when doors stayed closed without reason and opportunities faded before they could fully form. You tried to push forward, but it felt like something invisible kept holding you back. That feeling of being stuck was not just in your mind. It was a mixture of fear, misalignment, and unseen resistance all working together. You may not have had the words for it, but you felt it deeply. It showed up in hesitation, in overthinking, and in the quiet moments where you wondered why things were not moving. But here is where everything begins to shift. Because what you could not see was that not all resistance is meant to stop you. Some of it was meant to protect you. Some of it was redirecting you away from paths that would have drained you even more. And now, something is changing. The same pressure that once held you back is beginning to lift. The confusion that once surrounded you is starting to clear. It may not feel dramatic yet, but there is a quiet shift taking place. What was once blocked is slowly being opened. What felt delayed is now being repositioned. And you can sense it, even if you cannot fully explain it. There is a new kind of movement entering your life, one that does not come from force but from alignment. But here is the tension you must face. Just because something is shifting does not mean old patterns will not try to pull you back. The same fear that once slowed you down may try to rise again. The same doubt that made you hesitate may attempt to return. And if you are not aware, you could step back into what you are being led out of. That is why this moment matters so much. Because now you are not just being shown what was blocking you, you are being invited to move differently. To recognize the patterns that no longer serve you. To notice when fear is speaking instead of truth. And to choose alignment even when it feels unfamiliar. Because this new flow does not respond to the old way of thinking. It requires trust, awareness, and a willingness to let go of what once felt normal. So the question becomes, how do you stay aligned with what is opening without falling back into what was closing? How do you move forward when part of you is still used to holding back? That answer is what you are about to discover. Because the shift is already happening, and your role in it is more important than you realize. So stay aware of this moment, because what comes next will show you exactly how to step into this new alignment without losing it again. And once you see it, you will understand why nothing could move before this, and why everything is beginning to move now. Because there was a preparation happening beneath the surface, shaping your awareness and strengthening your discernment. You were learning to recognize what drains you and what sustains you. You were being shown the difference between urgency and alignment, between pressure and purpose. And even when it felt slow, it was building something within you that could not be rushed. Now that foundation is beginning to support the movement you have been waiting for. Things will not unfold the same way they once did, and that is intentional. You are stepping into a different rhythm, one where clarity replaces confusion and peace steadies your steps. So do not rush ahead, and do not fall back. Stay present in this shift, because it is guiding you into something far greater than what you left behind. And as you remain here, you will begin to see how this change connects to the protection that has been surrounding you, which is exactly what you are about to understand next. And as you begin to recognize this shift, you are also being invited to see your past differently. Not through the lens of loss, but through the lens of protection. Because what you once called setbacks, what you labeled as missed opportunities or unanswered prayers, may not have been failures at all. They may have been shields. There has been a protection around you that you could not always perceive. It did not always feel comforting, and it certainly did not always make sense. In fact, there were moments when that protection looked like rejection. It looked like doors closing abruptly, plans falling apart, connections fading without warning. And in those moments, it felt personal. It felt confusing. It even felt painful. But protection does not always arrive in a way that feels gentle. Sometimes it interrupts. Sometimes it redirects. Sometimes it removes things before you are ready to let them go. Think about the times something did not work out the way you expected. The job that slipped away, the relationship that did not hold, the opportunity that seemed perfect but suddenly disappeared. You may have asked why. You may have questioned your worth, your timing, or your direction. But what if those moments were not about you being denied, but about you being defended? Because there are things you cannot see from where you stand. There are outcomes you could not predict, consequences you could not foresee, and paths that would have led you into deeper exhaustion, confusion, or even harm. And in those moments, something stepped in front of you, not to block your future, but to protect it. That is what the shield represents. Not limitation, but preservation. Not punishment, but covering. And when you begin to see it this way, something inside you starts to shift. The narrative changes. What once felt like loss begins to reveal itself as guidance. What once felt like delay begins to look like preparation. But this requires a new level of discernment. Because not everything that is denied is meant to be pursued, and not everything that is delayed is meant to be abandoned. So how do you tell the difference? How do you recognize when something is being removed for your safety, versus when something is simply not ready yet? This is where awareness becomes your strength. When something is denied for your safety, it often carries a sense of resistance that does not align with peace. It feels forced, draining, or unstable. Even if it looks good on the surface, something within you feels unsettled. But when something is delayed for your growth, there is a different energy around it. It may not arrive immediately, but it does not bring confusion. Instead, it invites patience. It builds clarity over time. It aligns more deeply as you grow. This is the difference between striving and alignment. Between chasing and receiving. And you are being guided to recognize this difference now more than ever. Because as the shift begins to unfold, not everything will open at once. Some things will still require waiting, while others will begin to move quickly. Your discernment will help you know where to place your energy. And this is why your past matters, not as something to regret, but as something to understand. Every closed door, every redirection, every unexpected ending has been shaping your ability to recognize what is truly for you. You were not being left behind. You were being led away from what could not carry you forward. And now, as you stand in this new awareness, the shield is not just something around you. It is something within you. It is the clarity that helps you pause before forcing something that does not feel right. It is the peace that reminds you not to chase what is not aligned. So when you look back, do not just see what you lost. See what you were protected from. Because once you understand that, you begin to move differently. You stop trying to reopen doors that were closed for a reason, and you start trusting the ones that are slowly opening in front of you. And that trust leads you to a moment of decision, a turning point where you are no longer reacting from fear, but choosing from alignment. Because what comes next will ask something of you. It will ask you to release what you have been holding on to, and to step into a new way of moving forward. And now you arrive at the moment where everything begins to narrow into a choice. Not a distant decision, not something waiting for another day, but something present, immediate, and deeply personal. Because everything you have seen, everything you have felt, has been leading you here. You can no longer move forward the same way you did before. You cannot carry the same weight, the same fear, the same patterns into what is opening in front of you. Something must be released. And you already know what it is. It is the fear that kept you bracing for disappointment, even in moments that were meant to bring you peace. It is the need to control every outcome, to predict every step, to guard yourself so tightly that nothing new could fully enter. It is the overthinking that turned simple decisions into overwhelming pressure. These patterns once felt like protection, but now they are becoming limitations. Because where you are being led does not respond to fear. It does not open through control. It does not align with constant doubt. The next season of your life requires a different posture, one that is not built on striving, but on trust. And this is where the tension rises. Because part of you wants to move forward, to step into clarity, to finally experience the peace you have been longing for. But another part of you is still familiar with the struggle. It knows how to survive there. It knows how to function within chaos, even if it is exhausting. Familiar struggle can feel safer than unfamiliar peace. So the question becomes clear. Will you stay in what you have learned to manage, or will you step into what you have not yet learned to trust? This is not just about letting go of fear in a single moment. It is about choosing, again and again, not to return to it when it tries to resurface. Because it will try. The same thoughts may come back. The same doubts may attempt to take hold. But now you are aware. And awareness gives you the power to respond differently. You do not have to follow every fearful thought. You do not have to act on every moment of doubt. You do not have to rebuild the patterns that you are being led out of. Instead, you are being invited to choose alignment. Alignment looks like trusting the peace that begins to settle within you, even when it feels unfamiliar. It looks like taking steps forward without needing every detail to be perfectly clear. It looks like releasing the need to force outcomes and allowing things to unfold in their proper time. This does not mean you become passive. It means you become intentional. You move with awareness instead of reaction. You choose clarity over confusion, even when confusion tries to return. And yes, it may feel uncomfortable at first. Because peace, when you have been used to pressure, can feel unfamiliar. Stillness, when you have been used to constant movement, can feel unsettling. But that does not mean it is wrong. It means it is new. And new is where transformation begins. So right here, in this moment, you are being asked to make a decision. Not a loud or dramatic one, but a quiet, internal shift. A decision to no longer let fear lead you. A decision to trust that what is unfolding does not require you to struggle the way you once did. Because breakthrough is not something that happens around you. It is something you step into. It requires your participation. Your willingness to release. Your courage to trust what you cannot yet fully see. And the moment you choose alignment, something begins to respond. The path becomes clearer. The weight becomes lighter. The movement you have been waiting for starts to feel natural instead of forced. But this is only the beginning of that process. Because once you choose alignment, you will need to learn how to walk in it consistently, how to live it out in your daily life, and how to protect it from slipping away. And that is exactly what you are about to be shown next, as you begin to understand the practical steps that will help you stay in this new way of moving forward. And now that you have reached this point of decision, the question becomes how you actually live this out. Because alignment is not just a feeling you visit once, it is a way you begin to move, think, and respond every day. What you are stepping into now requires practice, awareness, and intention. Not perfection, but consistency. The first shift begins with guarding your thoughts. Not every thought that enters your mind deserves your agreement. You have spent time listening to fear, replaying doubt, and entertaining worst-case outcomes, and over time those thoughts started to feel like truth. But they are not all truth. Some of them are echoes of past experiences, habits formed in moments of pressure. So now, you are being invited to pause and ask yourself, is this thought leading me toward peace or pulling me back into fear? If it pulls you back, you do not have to follow it. You can gently redirect your focus. This is not about forcing positivity, it is about choosing clarity over confusion. The more you practice this, the more your inner voice begins to shift. The second step is creating moments of stillness. Not long, complicated routines, but simple pauses where you allow yourself to breathe, reflect, and reconnect. You have been moving so quickly, carrying so much, that your mind has rarely had space to settle. Stillness is where clarity grows. Even a few minutes of intentional quiet can change the way you respond to your entire day. In that stillness, you begin to hear what is steady rather than what is loud. You begin to recognize guidance instead of reacting to pressure. And over time, this becomes a place you return to, not just when things feel overwhelming, but as a daily anchor. The third step is releasing patterns that drain you. This requires honesty. There are habits, environments, and even thought cycles that you know leave you feeling heavier, yet they have become familiar. It could be constantly comparing yourself, holding on to past disappointments, or engaging in situations that pull you out of alignment. Releasing these does not always happen instantly, but it begins with awareness and a decision to step away, even in small ways. Every time you choose not to return to what drains you, you create space for something healthier to take root. The fourth step is speaking life over your situation. The words you repeat, even silently, shape how you experience your life. If your inner language is filled with defeat, doubt, or hopelessness, it becomes difficult to recognize movement even when it is happening. So you begin to shift the way you speak. Not by ignoring reality, but by anchoring yourself in possibility and truth. Instead of saying nothing is changing, you begin to say things are aligning, even if slowly. Instead of declaring that you are stuck, you remind yourself that you are being guided. These small changes in language begin to reshape your perspective. The fifth step is trusting divine timing. This is often the most challenging, because it asks you to release urgency. You have been used to measuring progress by speed, expecting immediate results, and feeling discouraged when things do not happen quickly. But alignment does not always move fast, it moves precisely. What is meant for you will not require constant force. It will unfold in a way that fits where you are and where you are going. Trusting timing does not mean doing nothing, it means doing your part while allowing space for things to come together naturally. As you begin to practice these steps, something subtle but powerful starts to happen. Your reactions change. Your thoughts become steadier. Your decisions feel clearer. And even when challenges arise, you respond from a different place. But here is the part that matters most. What happens when you do this consistently, not just once, not just when it feels easy, but over the next few days, over the next week? Because transformation does not come from a single moment. It comes from repeated choices. So as you move forward from here, carry these steps with you. Let them guide how you think, how you pause, how you release, how you speak, and how you trust. Because the more you walk in this, the more you will begin to notice something shifting around you as well. And that shift is what you are about to step into next, as you begin to speak and declare what is already taking shape within you. And now, as you carry these steps within you, you are being invited into something deeper. Not just understanding, not just awareness, but activation. Because there comes a moment when what you have heard must be spoken, when what you have realized must be declared. This is that moment. So do not rush through this. Let yourself be present. Let your words carry intention. Because something begins to shift when you speak with clarity and belief. Take a breath, and as you exhale, release the weight you have been holding. And now, begin to declare with me. I am protected. Say it again, not just with your voice, but with your awareness. I am protected. There has been a covering over your life, even when you did not see it. Even when things felt uncertain, you were not unguarded. And as you say this, you begin to recognize that truth more deeply. Now declare this. I release fear. You are not holding on to it anymore. You are not allowing it to lead your decisions or shape your future. Fear may try to return, but it no longer has authority over you. Say it again. I release fear. Feel the difference as you say it. Feel the space it creates within you. Now speak this. I receive peace. Not temporary calm, not a moment of relief, but a steady, grounding peace that settles into your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. Say it again. I receive peace. Let it anchor you. Now continue. I trust what is unfolding. Even if you do not see every detail, even if you do not understand every step, you are choosing trust over control. You are allowing things to come together in the right way, at the right time. Say it again. I trust what is unfolding. Now declare this. I am aligned. You are no longer moving from confusion or pressure. You are moving from clarity. From awareness. From a place that feels steady instead of rushed. Say it again. I am aligned. Let that settle within you. Now speak this. I let go of what is not for me. You are releasing what drains you, what pulls you back, what keeps you in cycles that no longer serve you. You are not chasing what is not aligned. Say it again. I let go of what is not for me. And now declare this. I receive what is meant for me. Not by force, not by struggle, but by alignment. What is meant for you will come in a way that brings clarity, not confusion. Say it again. I receive what is meant for me. As you continue to speak these words, something begins to shift inside you. It may feel subtle, but it is real. Your thoughts begin to settle. Your energy begins to change. Your perspective begins to open. This is not just repetition. This is realignment. Because what you speak consistently, you begin to believe. And what you believe begins to shape how you move. So stay here for a moment longer. Let these declarations sink in. You are protected. You are releasing fear. You are receiving peace. You are trusting what is unfolding. You are aligned. And as you continue to hold on to these truths, something else begins to happen. You start to notice small confirmations. Small shifts. Small moments that reflect what you have just spoken. And that is not by accident. Because what you declare with intention begins to align your awareness with what is already unfolding. So pay attention to what you notice next. Because the signs that follow will not come to confuse you, but to reassure you. And as you begin to recognize them, you will understand more clearly how everything is coming together in ways you could not see before, which is exactly what you are about to step into next. And as you begin to hold on to these declarations, the next thing that naturally rises within you is the question, how will I know? How will I recognize that something is truly shifting, that this is not just a moment of feeling but a real movement taking place in my life? The answer is not found in something overwhelming or dramatic. It is found in what is subtle, steady, and consistent. Because the signs that follow alignment are not meant to pressure you, they are meant to reassure you. So the first thing you may begin to notice is a quiet sense of peace. Not because everything around you has suddenly changed, but because something within you has. Situations that once triggered anxiety may begin to feel less overwhelming. Thoughts that once spiraled may start to slow down. This is not you ignoring reality, this is you responding from a different place. And that peace is a sign. Another confirmation may come through clarity. You may find that decisions which once felt confusing now feel simpler. Not because you have every answer, but because you are no longer clouded by constant doubt. You begin to see what aligns and what does not with more ease. You begin to trust your sense of direction again. This clarity is not forced. It unfolds naturally. You may also begin to notice unexpected opportunities. Not necessarily massive, life-changing events all at once, but small openings. A conversation that leads somewhere meaningful. An idea that feels aligned. A door that begins to open in a way that feels right rather than rushed. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. And then there is your energy. Pay attention to how you feel. You may begin to notice that the constant heaviness starts to lift, even if gradually. You feel more present, more grounded, more capable of handling what is in front of you. Things that once drained you may lose their hold. This restored energy is a sign that you are no longer carrying what was never yours to carry. But here is what you need to remember. These signs are not meant to create pressure. You are not being tested on whether you notice every detail perfectly. You are not going to miss what is meant for you because you did not interpret something correctly. Alignment does not require anxiety. So release the need to search for confirmation in every moment. Instead, stay aware. Stay open. Let what is real reveal itself in its own time. Because the more you relax into this, the more clearly you will begin to see what is unfolding around you. And here is something important. The first sign may not be external at all. It may be internal. It may be that moment where you realize you are no longer reacting the way you used to. That you feel steadier, calmer, more at ease. That shift within you is often the first confirmation that everything else is beginning to align. So do not overlook the small changes. Do not dismiss the quiet shifts. They are building something greater than you can currently see. And as you begin to recognize these signs, a new question naturally forms. If this is already starting to happen, what does it look like when everything fully comes together? That is where your focus is about to move next, into a clearer vision of what your life begins to look like as this alignment continues to unfold. And as you begin to recognize these signs, your awareness starts to expand beyond the present moment. You are no longer just noticing small shifts, you are beginning to sense where all of this is leading. So allow yourself, just for a moment, to see it. Not with pressure, not with doubt, but with openness. Imagine waking up without that familiar weight pressing on your chest. The kind of morning where your first thought is not worry, not stress, but a quiet sense of calm. You are not rushing to fix everything before the day even begins. Instead, there is space in your mind, a steadiness that carries you forward. This is not something distant. This is what restoration feels like when it begins to settle into your daily life. Now picture the areas where you once felt blocked. The places where you kept trying, kept pushing, but nothing seemed to move. Instead of resistance, you begin to experience flow. Doors that once felt firmly closed begin to open, not all at once, but in ways that feel natural and aligned. Conversations begin to happen at the right time. Opportunities appear without force. You are no longer chasing what is meant for you. You are recognizing it as it comes. Feel the difference in that. Where there was once confusion, there is now clarity. You are not overthinking every step. You are not questioning every decision. There is a sense of knowing that guides you, even if you do not have every detail mapped out. You trust your direction because it feels steady, not rushed. And then there is your emotional state. Notice how different it feels. The constant tension, the heaviness you carried, begins to fade. You are not reacting to everything with the same intensity. You are not overwhelmed by every challenge. There is balance. Even when something unexpected happens, you respond with calm instead of panic. You pause instead of rushing. You choose your response instead of being controlled by it. This is what peace returning to your life looks like. Now think about your relationships. The ones that felt strained, confusing, or draining. In this new space, things begin to shift. Some connections grow stronger, becoming more honest and supportive. Others naturally fall away, not through conflict, but through clarity. You are no longer holding onto what does not align. You are creating space for what does. And in that space, healthier connections begin to form. Notice how you carry yourself in this version of your life. There is less pressure in your posture, less tension in your thoughts. You are not trying to prove your worth. You are not seeking validation in the same way. You are grounded. There is a quiet confidence in how you move, not loud or forced, but steady and real. This is the contrast you have been moving toward. From stress to clarity. From pressure to peace. From constantly pushing to naturally aligning. And the more you allow yourself to see this, the more it begins to feel possible, not just as an idea, but as something that is already taking shape. Because this is not about imagining something unrealistic. It is about recognizing what is already beginning to unfold. So stay with this vision for a moment longer. Let it feel real. Let it settle into your awareness. Because here is the question that begins to rise from this place. How differently will you move when this becomes your new normal? When peace is no longer something you search for, but something you carry. When clarity is not something you fight for, but something you trust. When opportunities are not something you chase, but something you recognize. The answer to that question changes everything. Because once you begin to move from that place, your actions shift, your choices shift, your entire way of living begins to reflect what has already changed within you. And as you hold on to this vision, you are not just seeing the future. You are preparing yourself to step into it. Which is why what comes next matters, because this is not something you are meant to walk through alone. There are others who need to stand in this awareness with you, to declare it, to share it, and to be part of what is unfolding. And as you hold on to this vision, something important begins to unfold. This is not just a message for you to hear and move on from. This is a moment you are invited to step into, to participate in, to anchor in a way that makes it real in your life. Because there is power in agreement. So right now, if this message has spoken to you in any way, if you feel that quiet confirmation within you, I want you to do something simple but meaningful. Type the word Amen. Not as a habit, not as something automatic, but as a declaration. As a way of saying, I receive this. I align with this. I am stepping into this. Let it be intentional. And as you do that, you are not just responding to words. You are agreeing with what is already beginning to shift in your life. If you feel led, you can go even deeper. You can write a short declaration in your own words. Something like, I am protected and aligned, or, I release fear and receive peace. Let it reflect what you are choosing to step into. Because when you put it into words, it becomes something you can return to. Something that reminds you of this moment when doubt tries to return. And here is something else to consider. You are not the only one who needed this message today. There are others who are carrying silent battles, who are questioning what is happening in their lives, who are looking for the same clarity and reassurance you are beginning to feel. So ask yourself this quietly. Who else needs to hear this because of you? Sometimes sharing a message like this is not just a platform action. It becomes a way of extending hope to someone who might be in the exact place you were in before this moment. If this message brought you clarity, consider sharing it. Let it reach someone who may not even realize they need it yet. And if you want to continue receiving messages like this, you can stay connected. Subscribe, follow, stay present in this space where you can be reminded, encouraged, and guided again. Not out of obligation, but out of intention. Because consistency matters. The more you surround yourself with truth, the easier it becomes to stay aligned with it. And as you engage, as you declare, as you share, something deeper begins to form. You realize you are not alone in this. There is a community of people choosing the same shift, stepping into the same alignment, holding on to the same hope. That connection matters more than you think. So take a moment. Type Amen. Write your declaration. Share if you feel led. Because this is not just about hearing something meaningful. It is about stepping into it fully. And as you do, you are preparing yourself for the final part of this message, where everything you have felt, realized, and declared will be sealed in a way that stays with you beyond this moment. And now, as you come to the end of this moment, take a breath and feel what has shifted within you. Not everything around you may look different yet, but something inside you has already begun to change. And that matters more than you realize. You came here carrying questions, weight, and uncertainty. But now you leave with something different. You leave with awareness. You leave with clarity. You leave with a deeper understanding that you have been protected, even when you did not see it. Every delay you questioned, every door that closed, every moment that felt confusing was not random. It was part of something that was guarding you, guiding you, and preparing you. And now, you are no longer moving the same way. You are releasing fear instead of holding on to it. You are choosing alignment instead of pressure. You are trusting what is unfolding instead of trying to control every outcome. That is the shift. So as you move forward from here, carry this with you. When doubt tries to return, remember what you have already realized. When fear tries to speak, return to the declarations you made. When things feel uncertain, remind yourself that you are not unprotected. You are covered. You are guided. You are not alone in this. And as you continue to walk in this awareness, things will begin to align in ways that feel natural, not forced. You will begin to recognize what is truly for you and what is not. You will begin to move with a sense of peace that does not depend on everything being perfect. That is where you are being led. So receive this final blessing. May your mind be filled with clarity instead of confusion. May your heart be anchored in peace instead of fear. May your path be guided with precision, even when you cannot see every step. May what is not meant for you continue to fall away, and may what is aligned find its way to you with ease. And may you always remember that you are protected, even in moments that do not make sense yet. Hold on to that. Because this is not the end of what is unfolding for you. This is the beginning of seeing it more clearly. There is more that is about to be revealed to you, more understanding, more direction, more confirmation. And when it comes, it will build on what you have received here today. So stay open. Stay aware. Stay aligned. Because the next message will meet you right where this one leaves off, and it will take you even deeper into the clarity you have been seeking.